A stranger grabbed my arm in Target and said, "Oh my God, you're alive." Then she started crying. I had no idea what she meant until she showed me the obituary. My family posted. I was in the cleaning supplies aisle when this woman, maybe mid-50s, stopped dead in front of me. Her face went white. She dropped her basket and grabbed my arm so hard it hurt. "Oh my God," she whispered. "You're alive." I stared at her. "Do I know you?" She started crying right there between the dish soap and paper towels. "You're Jenny's daughter. I went to high school with your mother. We had a memorial for you 3 months ago." The words didn't make sense. "A memorial?" "I'm standing right here." She pulled out her phone with shaking hands and showed me a Facebook post. My mother's profile. The photo was me at my college graduation 2 years ago. Below it, a paragraph about how I'd passed away suddenly, how the family was devastated, how donations could be made to a mental health foundation in my name. The post had 847 comments. "Rest in peace, sweet girl. Gone too soon. Your mother must be heartbroken." I read every word twice. Then I scrolled down and saw my sister had shared it. My aunt had shared it. My grandmother had commented with crying emojis. My entire family had told the world I was dead. "I'm not dead," I said stupidly. "I'm right here." The woman was still crying. She hugged me, this complete stranger, and said she was so happy and so confused, and what happened to your family? I didn't have an answer. I thanked her and walked out of that store without buying anything. I sat in my car for an hour trying to understand. The last time I spoke to my family was 8 months ago. I'd refused to give my brother money for his third failed business. He called me selfish and ungrateful. My mother said I was tearing the family apart by not supporting him. My father said nothing, just looked at me like I was a stranger. I stopped calling after that. They stopped calling too. I figured they needed space. I didn't realize they needed me dead. I drove to my mother's house. 35 minutes of silence, my hands tight on the wheel. When I pulled up, my sister's car was in the driveway. Good. I walked in without knocking. They were in the living room watching television. My mother screamed when she saw me. Actually screamed like she'd seen a ghost. My sister knocked over her drink. My brother came running from the kitchen and stopped dead. "What are you doing here?" my mother asked, hand over her heart. "I'm supposed to be dead, right?" Her face shifted. I saw it happen. The fear turned to something else. Annoyance. "How did you find out? That's what you're asking me? Not sorry we told everyone you died?" She straightened up. "You cut yourself off from this family. You refused to help your brother when he needed you. As far as we were concerned, you were dead to us. So I made it official." Official? I had strangers crying over me in Target. People I've never met sent donations to a fake memorial fund. "Mom, you committed fraud." "It wasn't fraud. It was a lesson." She said it like she was explaining something to a child. "You needed to understand what it felt like to be abandoned." I looked at my sister. "You shared the post." She shrugged. "You were acting like you didn't have a family anyway." My brother finally spoke. "Where's the money?" "What money?" "The donation money. People gave like $6,000 in your name. We were going to use it to help me get back on my feet." I laughed. I actually laughed out loud because the alternative was screaming. "You faked my death to collect donation money and teach me a lesson at the same time?" "When you say it like that," my father said from his recliner, "it sounds worse than it was." I stood there looking at all of them. These people I'd spent 31 years loving, defending, helping, every birthday gift, every holiday, every favor they never returned. They killed me off like a character in a TV show they got bored with. I pulled out my phone. "What are you doing?" my mother asked. "Calling the police." "You can't," she said quickly. "We're your family. You're scammers who collected money using my identity for a death that didn't happen. That's a crime." My brother stepped forward. "Come on, we can work this out. Give us the phone." I stepped back, already dialing. The 911 operator answered just as my mother started crying about how ungrateful I was. The investigation took 2 months. The donation money had to be returned with interest. My mother was charged with fraud and identity theft. My sister got probation for conspiracy. My brother's name was on the PayPal account where the donations went, so he caught federal charges too. At the hearing, my mother told the judge I'd driven them to this, that I'd abandoned them first. The judge asked me if I had anything to say. I looked at my family, all of them smaller now, scared. I said, I was never dead. I was just finally done. They got community service and fines. Light sentences, really. But the real punishment was the newspaper article. Local family fakes daughter's death for donations. Everyone in town read it. Their neighbors, their church, my mother's book club. The woman from Target called me after she saw the story. She said she always knew something was off about my mother. I don't talk to them anymore. My phone doesn't ring with their names. I'm not dead. I'm just gone. And for the first time in my life, I feel completely alive.